getting maybe the top spot, so the reverse announcer's curse. I'll take that. I've done it too much the other way over the years. But Danielle Brandon, again, she's competing with our two teammates. She's been going isolated on the edge just due to protocols, but she's making the best of the situation that she's worked with, taking heat number one.
The sun starting to peek through here at the North Park in Madison, Wisconsin, as the fans continue to trickle in as the heat progresses. Great crowd here on Wednesday. The first year competition for the individuals. We had the first year competition for the age group and the adaptive athletes yesterday. They are also competing with today. The teams will kick off tomorrow as the individuals get a rest. The individuals will wrap up along with the adaptive athletes, and then it's nothing but teams and individual competition on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
3, 2, 1.
Heat number 3. They're
25 and a bike.
officially full field of 10 athletes this time.
Have eyes on Jessica Griffith in lane number 9. She's just one of those all-around good athletes. She has a good athletic background. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Caroline Ridout and Regan Huckabee up there. Seen a lot of surprises so far, so anything can happen. Like I said, this isn't a traditional distance. It's a closed course. It's a blind turn. And as we saw, heat after heat for the men and women, you got to run your race, but you got to make sure is that you are pushing yourself to the limit without crashing and burning to that final turn. You can't run to the pace of your heat.
Second heat underway is officially labeled heat number 3, but the time to beat is Danielle Brandon's 1:27.20 seconds. Ellie Turner in the blue pants towards the front, Sasha Nieves. In the very top, she is now moving to the lead. Cross-unders behind her. Ellie Turner up there, as well as Ray Huckabee and outside Michelle Carroll. 3 people on the side. Got to work their way to the front of the double. Sasha Nieves is being early here in the second heat.
Saunders is moving up, banging around there in the middle as well.
Jessica Griffith has now moved into second place behind Sasha Nieves. Ariel Lowen trying to get ground on Allison Michelle. Michelle in third place. Now Michelle moving to the outside of Griffith, maybe past her. Sasha Nieves is still your leader.
And get a little bit of a downhill on this first turn. And it's steady downhill slightly all the way until we run into the stadium. And Griffith has the speed and the power. We saw that in the sprints for the teams in 2019. She can absolutely fly where she needs to.
And Jess Griffith stopping the gap as she is past Sasha Nieves. Jessica Griffith is in the lead. Griffith is in. She will win the heat. It remains to be seen if she will beat Danielle Brandon's time. As she will now be third in the event. So Jeff Griffith did not catch Danielle Brandon. 1:30.18 seconds for Griffith.
And just 0.06, 6/100ths of a second between her and Ariel Lowen.
1.
And Sasha Nieves out front early, but
Round 2, 50 dips.
I had it right. So right off the bat, Nieves on the right side in that dark gray top, early to the lead. In fact, she was leading all the way through the first turn. Finally got right is that you can't jump out too soon if that's not the pace you're supposed to run. Sean, what's awesome about this heat is we have 3 moms in this heat. Cara Saunders, Regan Huckabee, and Ariel Lowen. One rookie here at the Classic Games, coming out of the Granite Games, winning the Granite Games overall. And as things start to take shape on the first turn, That lead is about a 5-yard lead on Jessica Griffin. But Griffin playing, again, this is playing to the pace of your heat. Griffin she's not pushing hard, she's waiting. She's waiting for the finish. You see, the jelly behind her rolling on the right. And it's when you get into the safety zone, Griffin makes her move. Fluid came to almost take down Jessica Griffin. And he said towards the final straightaway, just 6/100ths of a second separating the two, but the times from the first heat still stand.
Danielle Brandon is still your event leader with 127.20 seconds. Or that's just a second, and Jessica Griffin who just put up the third best time of 130.1. Heat 4 currently the third heat, but labeled as Heat 4 due to some adjustments they had to make in athlete lineups. The full heat, 10 athletes getting set here, including James Freedom, former Utah champ Catherine Davis daughter, and Brooke Wells.
Now, these are two athletes that really need to have a good race. Not really the best finish for Catherine Davis' daughter in event number 2. A decent finish in event number 1, but Wells is kind of very underwhelming first 2 events. But you talk about the track background for Brooke Wells, that should play a factor. This is going to be a little redemption from her from 2019. Catherine has decent speed, not top-end speed. But again, this isn't just a full-send sprint. This takes a lot of pacing and strategy, where to push and how to finish towards the end of this sprint.
Third heat is underway. 1:27.20 seconds is the time to beat Catherine Davis' daughter. Trying to keep pace with Brooke Wells, who is out front early.
Said Brooke has the speed, she has the experience. She was a track athlete before she started CrossFit.
Wells followed by Davis' daughter. Raven Rail behind Davis' daughter.
And here's where it takes slightly up before we get to that first turn. As you get this first turn, is where it'll start to go back down. Look at the lead. Wells has put on Davis' daughter. Davis' daughter has a decent lead on the rest of the field behind her.
That's what I mentioned. Davis and Wells is first down for Davis' daughter, 6 second. Bailey Rail and Gabby Regala fighting for third place.
Wells desperately needs a top 3 finish in this event.
1:27.20 seconds is the time to beat Brooke Wells. Makes the turn into the north all by herself. Catherine Davis' daughter trying to close the gap. She's not going to have enough time to Wells to get a 50 heat now. Could she beat Danielle Brandon's time? And Brooke Wells is going to do it. Catherine Davis' daughter may have a shot at it. Gabby Regala is going to edge out Rail at the finish line. And it's Emma Carey to close out the heat with Brooke Wells, 1:24.43 seconds. Danielle Brandon now in second place, and Catherine Davis is in third place in the event, 1:27.49, so about 0.3 of a second between David's daughter and Danielle Brandon. And Gabriella Magala is in fourth, Baby Rail in fifth. Fastest team we've seen so far.
And it all started by Brooke Wells right from the beginning. Top time in close to 3 seconds. Now 3 seconds in a 500-meter swim is like half a mile in track sprints terms. So that is a big separation between Brooke Wells and Danielle Brandon's time. Davis' daughter just behind Brandon at that 27.4.
Round 3.
Wells now your new top time at 1:24.43 seconds with 1 heat remaining.
He said it from the start, is that Brooke Wells needed something to get her back in gear from the slow start from the morning. Didn't think she was going to have the best swim. It's a long swim for Wells. It's a long aerobic bout from that start in event number 1. I would have thought she would have fared a little bit better with the hip, flip, slam, pull, and muscle. Those are all 3 things that she has experience with and that she is decent with. But she didn't have the finish that she needed there. So after 2 events, she's simply second, 22nd overall. Look at who has the background, who has the ability, and Brooke Wells is one of those athletes that jumped off the page. That's one thing to be on paper, it's another thing to be on the competition line. But Brooke Wells didn't wait for the rest of the group. She started at the pace that she knew she could hold. She pushed the pace throughout the whole time. And taking this final turn, she extended her lead on the field. That's the first time we've seen the top athlete actually get further ahead once they enter the stadium. And the last time Brooke Wells ran this competition for, she got cut for the CrossFit Games and not able to showcase all the hard work she's had since then. Now, a little redemption for Brooke Wells.
Brooke Wells are going to hang on for what will be her fourth career event win. Fifth and final heat, and your overall leaders coming into this event will be on the court. Tia Toomey looking to go 3 for 3. She's already been perfect in the first two events. The second straight time that she's done that at the CrossFit Games.
And she's poised for a third. We're talking about who has the track background. It's Tia Toomey. That's what she actually was training to go to the Olympics for back when she started her athletic career. Ended up doing it in weightlifting, and now she's your 4-time CrossFit Games champion. But don't count out Kristen Holta, who's sitting on the left side of your screen. She is one of the best sprinters in the women's division. Haley Adams on the right, and Kristen Holt is left. She's already sitting in the top 3. She's a good runner, but I don't know how much speed she has for an event like this.
Final heat event 3 for the women is underway as Brooke Wells, who just put up the top time with the prior heat at 1:24.43 seconds. Tia Toomey and Haley Adams out front earlier from Kristen Holta, making a move. The time to be at the bottom left part of your screen, Christina O'Connell, that will be up front. Now, how many times have we seen Christina O'Connell and Tia Toomey in foot race?
Especially in here, in Madison, on this course. Now they just have me running the opposite direction and a little bit shorter and a lot faster. Haley Adams still keeping pace with Tia Toomey. Keep your eye on Kristen Holton. That Holton is always done well in multi-direction sprints. So that is actually a skill within itself, and so is this straight shot. But with Toomey's background, she is very familiar with races at this distance.
Toomey leads Haley Adams. Adams ahead of Christina O'Connell. Haley Adams trying to separate herself from everyone she was in early overall standings. Adams second place overall, just 24 points back at Tia Toomey, but only 3-point lead overall. As Toomey makes the turn. 1:24.43 seconds. That's the time to beat. Tia Toomey looking for her third straight event win. And Toomey may have done it. We're going to go to 2 Adams' second. Holta is in. Forrest-Goddard and Barnhart are across. And Tia Toomey, 3 for 3. 1:24.17 seconds to edge out Brooke Wells. 300 points for Tia Toomey after 3 events.
That is just absolutely ridiculous. We saw something similar last year, but that was in a field of 5. This is in a field of 35. Different skill sets, different strengths, women from all backgrounds, and she just went first, second, and third, back-to-back-to-back wins of those events in all different types of tests.
Toomey leading from wire to wire. It is a matter that might be a theme that plays out this entire weekend.
But she's 3 for 3 so far with 1 event left to go today, but she started strong right off the bat. Now, with Tia in her background, that's not something you'd be worried about like another athlete that doesn't have the experience. But what I'm very impressed with was actually Haley Adams. Like I said at the top, she's a great runner. She's more of a distance and endurance-based runner. And look at the speed of Haley keeping pace with Tia Toomey. Christina on the left with a gray and black, and then Kristen Holton just behind those two at the start. And what you want to see is you want to see how athletes handle the turns. Do they decelerate or do they accelerate? And what Toomey did is that she never broke stride, she never broke cadence, and instead of into the turns, and they got long again on this last straightaway before we hit the Coliseum. And she's chasing a time she doesn't know. That's the hardest part. She doesn't know what the clock is. She doesn't know when 24.47 was the time to beat. She doesn't know where the clock is until she gets into the stadium. And that's what she's looking at. All she knows is that she is the best to ever do it, and she is coming here trying to win every event she possibly can. Not just get points where you can get them, is to take all the points from anybody else.
Tia Toomey has now won 27 of 89 events in which she has competed at in the CrossFit Games, just edging out Brooke Wells, but that is a great result for Brooke Wells. She'll get 97 points, and Haley Adams is going to increase her lead over Laura Horvath for second place. Haley Adams finishing third in the event, she'll get 94 points. She looks at inside the top three, and Nikki Grazer is with Haley Adams.
Haley, you were really giving Tia Toomey a run for her money there. When you saw that gap was closing in, what did you have to do to kind of secure that second place in that heat?
So I wasn't exactly sure how much it was. I wish I would have made the move a little bit closer, but she was really fast, so still I got it executed the best of my ability. So.
500 meters, it seems like a little bit of a weird distance. It's not something that everyone practices often. How did it feel for you?
That was my first time testing that event, so it hurt, like it should. So, yeah.
Great first day for you so far. You have a lot still to come. I mean, what is your mentality after these first three events?
Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend. I'm happy with how everything's gone so far, and just keep my head in the right place and execute my best ability.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Haley Adams putting on quite a show with just getting upstage by Tia Toomey. Adams with another top 5 event finish to stay inside the top 3. Danielle Brandon Hartley set the early time to beat. Hung on to the last second when the irresistible force known as Tia Toomey took over. And Toomey with her third straight event win. We're going to head inside the Coliseum for our next event. Unknown test awaits in event 4. Back moment here in 2021 Double CrossFit Games.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That uses the inherent transformative power.
Time in 2 years, the athletes return to the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. It's event 4, the final event. The opening day of competition for the individual shot put, with Chase Ingrid like Arsenal is back on the competition floor. Hey, the wall walks are back.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to wall walk with you again. A classic Castro callback. You hated that in the open? Well, I'm bringing it back, and I'm going to add thrusters to it. 10 down to 1 of wall walks and heavy thrusters at 135 and 185. This is just flat out long grunt work.
Let's set it down on the competition floor to the third member of our broadcast crew, Mike Arsenault.
Thank you very much, Sean. Shane,
5.5
we're seeing a return of the wall walks. We saw them in 21.1 in the open. They're back here at the CrossFit Games. Here's what the men have to keep in mind. Pretend this blue line is wet paint. It's 59 inches from the wall. At the bottom of the rep, they want to make sure they have blue paint on their hands. At the top of the rep, they want to make sure they have red paint on their hands. So So they're going to switch from blue to red as they traverse the wall, and that's going to make good reps.
One more.
Thank you, Mike. 2 heats for the men. Scott
Round
Hanson
5.
in lane number 9. He's been dealing with a bit of a knee issue. We'll keep an eye on him. And then Paul Sager also on the competition floor as well. More on both of those athletes in just a second. Tim Paulson. He's also been dealing with a bit of an issue. We ran into his family earlier in the day. Apparently he's had a little bit of a GI issue that he's been dealing with, and that has certainly slowed him down here a lot.
But Sager's been dealing with this just a slow start, and he's going to have to live up to the name, right? He had a comeback hit at Paul Sager. He's sitting at 22nd overall after 3 events. Actually, he's 24th, and Scott Hanczyk. That's in 22nd. You're going to look at an event like this, is that Hanczyk, this is his final night. He announced that this would be his last year competing at the CrossFit Games, and unfortunately, he suffered a little bit of an injury during the sprint portion, which derailed his sprint in event number 3.
Hanczyk has been dealing with a bit of a meniscus issue already coming into this event. Apparently, it was exacerbated during the swim portion of event number 1. That's why he was lagging towards the back in the 550-meter sprint. 10 wall walks to open up here, and then 10 thrusters at 185 pounds. 10 total score repetitions, and Sager and Hanczyk are 2 of the first men to the barbell.
The best athletes in the field finding themselves in heat number 1 outside the top 20. And what we're looking at with these thrusters is it's 185 pounds. That is a heavy thruster for 55 hours. But it's not just the weight itself, but it's the interference that's going to come with the wall walk. The wall walk is all shoulders and all core. You need to have that dialed in for these heavy thrusters.
Scott Hanczyk is done with his initial set. 10 thrusters, that's the wall out for 9. Then we'll do the rounds of 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6 on one wall. Then they will move forward and perform the next round.
As we're working through this, Sean, is that you got to understand that it's going to come down to the wall walks. These are going to be a beating. It's 55 total. It's the same number we saw in the open, but we're pairing it with heavy thrusters, not a double one. It's going to be much more fatiguing on the upper body than it was during the open.
Visit porn.com/u/CrossFit and learn more about the official supplement partner of CrossFit, trusted by U.S. national teams and more than 100 professional sports teams. Keep an eye on the top of your screen. The man's name that is highlighted in red is your heat leader. The number of repetitions in the white box. Next man's name will be the number that is completed. Everyone else, the number in the white box will be the amount of reps that they trail the leader. He is also on the lead pace with Paul Sager, and Jeff Daniels.
Now this is a standardized line. You saw in the open where this is relative to your height, which is a massive advantage for the shorter athletes. Now that it's the same, that advantage is gone. In fact, I would say it makes it almost a little bit tougher for the shorter athletes. Cole Perkins on the right side of your screen, he's going to have to extend outside of his shoulders more than he did back in March.
Scott Hanczyk back to the barbell, maintains his lead, 9 reps now at 185.
And you're looking at a 10 down to 1. That's 55 reps of each, but when you think about where the halfway point is, it's not at the round of 5, it's actually almost halfway through the round of 7. So you're going to see a really big chunk of reps, over 30 to 40%. Once you get through the 10, 9, and a round of 8. Scott Hanczyk has gone unbroken on the 10 and the 9. Paul Sager to his left is taking breaks. I think that's a very, very smart decision to make because you actually don't want to.
5 left, 45 seconds.
The most taxing movement here is the actual wall walk, not the thrusting 40.
Travis Mayer
35.
is lane number 11 right now, unofficially 21st.
30 seconds, 4 left.
His way up the overall standings.
It's important for Mayer to do well. He had a great open and quarterfinals.
20 seconds.
It's not the semifinals, but it's a different game when you get to the game.
15.
It's more robust. They're more outside the gyms. They're heavier. They're more
10,
high skill.
9,
He's been here before.
8,
We just got to make sure
7.
that, listen, that 20 cut line, that 30 cut line